Well. It is an absolutely beautiful rainy day here in Sydney, Australia.
Is it raining?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
in Newcastle.
Yeah, no,
Not
it's
in
raining
Newcastle, man. No, it's beautiful sunny day over here.
That rain is my favorite day. Bedaki finds it strange, and I guess a lot of people find it strange, but
No.
I'd like to hear from the chat. What is your favorite day weather-wise? Because for me, my favorite day weather-wise is a cold, rainy day. I do not like the hot, humid days. I love a cold, rainy day where if you stay inside, you go to the mall, you go to a movie, you're watching a movie at home and you open the doors and you hear the rain in the background and the smell of I don't know, that's my favorite day. I know that's not everybody's favorite day, but what is your favorite day?
One time we got on the call, everyone, and Zach goes, "Wow, such a beautiful day," and it was literally downpouring. It was like full on the darkest, gloomiest day you could possibly have, and the rain was nonstop. And Zach goes, "It's so beautiful outside." He goes, "Why is this guy drilling? He's ruining my day because it's so nice."
Yeah, there's a guy drilling outside. It was a nice rainy day, and I was like, hell yeah. I mean, this guy in the back doing some construction is pissing me off. What's up, Daniel Macy?
I was born in the summer, so I'm a summer baby.
I
love the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
My skin just doesn't love the summer. So that's a big problem for me. What's up, Daniel Macy? 29 days until the 2025 NFL draft. Our resident countdown expert is back at it again. That makes it, wow, holy hell. I just realized, yeah, wow, okay. We're less than a month away.
It's actually,
good Lord.
Well, April 1st is next week.
Wow.
And
big announcement on April 1st. Big announcement, guys. Cannot wait to announce this. What's up, Dylan? In the building. Charlie's here. Chase in the building. He said 393 days until the 2026 NFL draft. I love it. What's up, Neezy from Sydney? My guy from Sydney. I love to hear it. I'll answer this question before we get going. He says 101 or the 104 in Devonta Smith. What do we think? I think I lean Genty still.
101 or the 104 for Devonta Smith. Yeah, I'm okay. I think context, this is a start 11. That might be a little bit more intriguing, but this is more lineup. I'm okay with that.
What's up, Paul? In the building. Neezy, Styles, Joel says, what are these Dak to Browns rumors? That's a great question, my friend. Daniel loves the rainy days. You love to see it. What's up, Bori, Matthew, Johnny in the building. JMB says, is the Kyle Williams hype real? Yeah, it was funny. Like a month ago, I said the only true sleeper left in the 2025 class is Kyle Williams, based off of like everyone talking about everybody on Twitter. And now it feels like he's not even a sleeper anymore because everyone's showing him love. What's up, Ivan? We've got Ivan, Fantasy Football Garage, Joe, Faulty, Sammy Stacks in the building. What's up, Connor? What's up, Daniel in the building? We appreciate y'all for being here. A lot of great questions, but we want to make sure we get to today's stream, which is to do a 2025 Dynasty rookie mock draft. All right. And Badaki, there might be people out there watching this video and they might want to be able to get into the mock draft with us. If those people exist, how can they get into one?
Yeah, guys, join our Discord. That link is in the description. I just put that link in the chat for you guys, okay? Join our Discord. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, then go to announcements. That's how you can join each and every mock draft, whether you're watching now or later. It is first come, first serve. And if you want a nice little pro tip, if you haven't been here with us, everyone likes a little bit of a tip. Get on the phone. Don't get on the phone, excuse me. Get on the laptop, computer, something that's not your phone, because I'll give you the best possible chance of you getting into one of these mock drafts here. But I'll send that link out here in 3, 2, there you go.
All right, that link is going to be sent out. Just quickly, before we jump into this mock draft, we have a trade question to answer from the Pigeon Man. He says, my 26 and 27 first plus a 27-2, is that too much for Knicks? So I don't think he entered the question in right, but in a super flex 10-team start 10, would you give a 26 and 27 first plus a second rounder for Bo Nix? That seems like a high price based off the current market.
My question is, like,
I don't care about the 26 first if you're competing.
The current market is crazy. Let me just say this. Hypothetical. If Bo Nix finishes in the exact same place he finished last year, is he worth 2 firsts the year after?
If he does it again, probably, yeah.
I would say yes. Yeah. So, like, if you are projecting Bo Nix to be the guy that he was last year or somewhere near that, then technically this could be a steal.
Yeah.
In the future, but as of right now, it does kind of feel like an overpay.
Honestly, I guess I wouldn't sell him for one first myself. So that's probably even value right now. I don't have a strong opinion. I think they're both pretty fair sides of this deal myself. All right, this is a two-part stream. We're going to get to this Dynasty rookie mock draft in 1 second, but to anybody out there watching, we are going to do team reviews, give out some playbooks here at the in the second part of today's stream. And we do have currently like 3 or 4 spots for a live same-day review. I know a lot of people love getting the same-day reviews. Well, we have about 3 to 4 spots left right now. If you want to get your team playbook, we'll be doing these after the rookie mock draft, giving out specific trade targets, what to do with your draft capital, understanding your league settings. Then you can become a LAND, promo code LAND, annual Mother Flocker member. You'll get a voucher, which you can use on the Flock site. You get that team review, which is where you can get the playbook. And if you want it done live, just get that live tier. And by the way, if you're not a member, you can still get a team playbook. You go through the same exact process, but you just don't have a voucher when you go to the team review section, okay? So that is available. There are a couple live reviews available today. If you're out there and you're an annual member and it renewed and you want to get your team review done today, also a great option. Again, just make sure you get it done live if you want it to be done live. All right, so this is a 2025 Dynasty rookie mock draft. This is the first part of today's stream. And we are going to be using the landing spots from Sammy Stack's latest rookie mock draft, okay?
Come on, Sammy.
Now, obviously, people have opinions on whether they think it's useful or not to use landing spots. You and I believe that it is. Of course, we're making up hypothetical scenarios, but it's at this point of the offseason. I think we all know where we stand on players. I think the question is, how does the NFL draft actually impact the way we would draft this year in these rookie drafts? So that is kind of where we stand on it. That's why we put so much, we have guys like Sammy Stacks who put so much effort into making these situations a reality so we can kind of play out these worlds. Now, Sammy did say a couple of trades in this one, but again, the website doesn't show the future picks involved, so let the chat just know to ignore the compensation as it's not exactly accurate to what the trades are. But we do have New York trading back with the Bears, and there's quite a few trades, but again, unfortunately, it's not really reflected because of the website's inability to do so. But in this scenario, all right, these landing spots are in the description. We get Cam Ward to the Titans, #1 overall, which seems to be the consensus right now. That seems to be the growing, locked in, loaded 101 at this point in the draft. Right after that, we have Shedeur Sanders. This is interesting because if the Browns don't take Shedeur Sanders, I don't really know when he comes off the board. Right? We've talked about this before. Maybe the Saints at 9. After that, I mean, do the Steelers get a veteran like Aaron Rodgers and bring him in? Does a different team trade up from the second round into the first round? So, with the Giants, there was a report that came out from Adam Schefter today that said the Giants will not avoid quarterback if there's one that they want in the draft. They still are open to drafting a quarterback, even though they brought in both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. But in this scenario, the Browns say, we need someone. We have literally nobody. We're going to draft Shedeur Sanders. Then we see Travis Hunter going to the Patriots at 4 overall. Ashton Denty at 6 to the Raiders. Makes a lot of sense there, that fit. Matthew Golden, who is slowly becoming the consensus one in the class. I love Matthew Golden. I didn't expect him to take this type of jump, I'll be honest. I scouted him. I fell in love with him. I scouted him in the second wave for myself. And I see a lot of T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks. A lot of people say Stephon Diggs, potentially. Diggs was one of the best route runners in the last, decade. But in this world, he goes 12th overall to the Cowboys. That will definitely boost his rookie stock if that were to happen. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts. Then we see Ted McMillan fall to the Seahawks. Great fit, honestly, because Sam Darnold likes a big body receiver and they have nobody outside. Colson Loveland to the Bucks is interesting. Jackson Dart, your Giants trade up into round 1 to grab Jackson Dart at 20th overall. All right, so you made that trade with the Broncos. Then we see Amarian Hampton to the Steelers at 21. Luther Burden to the Jags. That's Wow, I've never thought about that landing spot before. That's actually kind of perfect. Luther Burden to the Jags. I think that's actually a very good landing spot. I've never thought about that before. Great job, Sammy. Emeka Egbuka to the Eagles. So that'll be interesting. Into round 2, where Judkins is an early second-round pick to the Broncos. Then we see Jaden Higgins to the Jets. Next player off the board is Trey Harris to the Packers. Alec A.O. Manor to the Chargers. Jalen Royals, my guy, back-to-back my guys, to the Panthers. And Jalen Knoll to the Texans. Jack Besh, okay, 3 guys in a row here, to the Commanders. I love that. Travion Henderson to the Bills.
That's not good. That's not good for brother James.
This is one of those weird, like, landing spots that is people think is unrealistic but could happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, this agree. Would be so frustrating, but it also could happen. Into round 3, where Caleb Johnson goes to the Chiefs early round 3. Then we see Mason Taylor to the Saints, Dylan Sampson to the Bears, Elijah Arroyo to the Jets. Then we get Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks, Isaiah Bond to the Broncos, Cam Scatterbo to the Jaguars, Harold Fannin to the Seahawks, Xavier Restrepo to the Saints. I got to be honest, I think after his pro day, I don't think he's going round 3, but this is where he's going today. DJ Giddens to the Browns. Then we go into round 4, where Tez Johnson is a Brown. Bashul Tootin is a Patriot. Savion Williams is a Raider. The Raiders. Mitchell Evans to the Niners. Damian Martinez to the Bengals. He actually would be a great compliment, I think, to Chase Brown. Kyle Williams to the Titans. I love me some Kyle Williams. Tyler Shuck to the Steelers. Devin Neal to the Chargers. That's a nice spot. Torrey Horton to the Ravens. Brashard Smith to the Dolphins. Into round 5. Last round we'll look at together. Trevor Etienne is a Viking. Ollie Gordon is a Cowboy. That's going to be interesting, actually. That's an interesting landing spot. Jalen Lane to the Steelers. Jarquez Hunter to the Packers. Any other big names? No, you can look at the rest of the landing spots if you like. You can reference this. It's in the description. I'll also put it in the mock draft one more time. And let's get this 2025 rookie mock draft going. It is super flex. It is PPR. We'll do a 0.5 Titan Premium. And we do have a light goal today of 120. Is that right? Yes. So if we reach 120, we will do 2 mock drafts for you guys today. So be a friend. Smash that like button. We're already past 50, which is incredible.
Come on. Appreciate you.
Tunchi, what's up, man? Says, watch your buy sell video. Would you send the 303 this year for Jordan Mason? Yeah, I would send the 303 for Jordan Mason. I like that a lot. In fact, if anyone is in one of my follower leagues, if anybody's in a league with us and you want to grab an early third from me, I'm definitely open to doing that deal. I know not everybody is in on Jordan Mason, but I am one of those people that is in, if you will. So Ashton Genty goes 1 overall, and I was like waiting for someone to make the next pick. and
it's definitely you, brother.
It is me. It is me. So Genty goes number 1 overall. Remember, he went to the Raiders.
Raiders.
And,
which I like.
Yeah. No, look, I like it a lot. I think it's a great landing spot. Yeah, I mean, we have another running back that goes round 1. I struggle to not take a round 1 running back at the 102. If Amarion truly is another round 1 running back, he will be my locked and loaded 102. The hit rate on those round 1 running backs is so high. And in this scenario, he went 21st overall to the Steelers. He pretty much leads that backfield from day 1. Week 1, he's probably getting 16 to 20 touches is the way I would view that.
Yeah. Judkins goes there to Denver Broncos early second round, which I really like. I mean, he instantly the starting back.
Yeah.
In that backfield.
That'd be another really great landing spot. You know, you'd have to kind of play that line of late first, early second range and what that means to you versus, you know, a first overall quarterback, some of these wide receivers. So, yeah, it'd be a dance. Okay. Now, this is a surprise to me, and I like Caleb Johnson, but this is a surprise to me. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
yeah, he went in the 3rd round.
Round 3 running back over these other names. I love Daniel Macy. Daniel knows we love him. But that is a little bit surprising to me to justify the round 3 running back over those other guys.
Yeah, I mean, there is some high upside guys here. Let's wait and see what this looks like.
Yeah. And Daniel Macy, you can always comment why you think it was worth it. Obviously, look, I love the landing spot to the Chiefs. Like, I'm with you. Early 3rd round. But let's not forget, Trey Benson was an early 3rd round pick last year. That didn't work out necessarily. And, you know, you're passing on the 1st overall pick, the 2nd overall pick, a wide receiver at 4, wide receiver at 12, 2 tight ends in the 1st round, Luther Burden in the 1st round, and Buka in the 1st round. It's just, it's tougher for me to swallow. Yeah, that is what she said.
I get you. Sometimes
she says it.
Family-friendly stream here. You get Ted McMillan off the board. He goes to the Seattle Seahawks with an 18 overall pick. He's going to be joining Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith, and Jigba there, obviously.
That'd be a
Sam
really nice
Darnold.
wide receiver room, actually. Wow.
Yeah, not bad at
You
all.
almost
I'd
have
go
to ask
Cam
the
Ward.
question, though, like, is this another Roma Dunze situation? 3 guys. I know they all play different roles, and he's probably going to be on the field in 2 wide receiver sets, but
the difference is Cooper Kupp had a longer contract, right? What is it, 2-year?
I think it's a 3-year contract for Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the structure there is a little bit different. Like if we're talking more of a Rome, then this might be a little bit of a longer wait.
Yeah.
But yeah. Obviously, we have to wait and see. I go Cam Ward, first quarterback off the board with the 101 going to the Tennessee Titans.
Yep. After that, we get Warren Golden, who went to the Cowboys. Henderson, who went to the Bills in round 2. Tough spot for Henderson, man. Tough to really digest. But yeah, I don't even know. I don't even want to think about that hypothetically. But I guess that's why these exercises are so helpful. But, you know, Connor asked the question, why are people acting as if it's impossible Shedeur goes 7 to the Raiders? Brady's connection and could sit behind Geno. I think you make a good point, honestly. I mean, no one anticipated the Falcons going Michael Penix when they just brought in a veteran like Kirk Cousins last offseason. So
yeah, I agree.
It's the most important position. If they truly view Shedeur Sanders as, you know, the next leader of their franchise, you make a good point. Sure, they could take him 6th overall or whatever it is. But
I think
obviously we're assuming that they believe Geno's their future for the next 4 years or whatever, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? If we're thinking more of a Kirk Cousins, when Kirk Cousins came on, we kind of understood that contract. It was essentially a 1-year prove-it deal, but it was I have with a 3 or 4 year. If he did hit, where Geno, if I'm not mistaken, is 3 years out. We don't really know if there's an out at all yet.
Yeah, you can make a case that like the Raiders make more sense to take a quarterback this year than the Falcons did last year. Now, obviously, we have the hindsight to know that Kirk Cousins is dog shit now, but you know, at the moment, no one really thought that. So,
but Geno has been above average and significantly better.
Geno's been one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league for the last 3 years, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, who do you guys think is the best value in round 1? I want to hear your opinions here. Right after we had Henderson, we had Hunter off the board, he went 4th overall to the Patriots. We also had Luther Burden. That's going to be my pick is going to be Burden or Sanders. And you know, I released a video today, and to anyone who is a Cam Ward lover, I would definitely suggest for you to go check that video out. It's called Moves to Make in Dynasty Football. All right, and basically I use the Wheel of Dynasty, which you guys have probably seen before in our content, and I have like 4 or 5 takes unprepared, but the Wheel of Dynasty decides the order of them. You know, there's a buy, there's a sell, there's a hold, there's a breakout, there's my last trade that you can see, and there's also a to be honest section, okay? And in that to be honest section, I talked about Cam Ward, and I said I recognize that if Cam Ward actually goes number 1 overall and Shedeur Sanders goes number 2 overall, they're going to have to be higher in my rookie rankings. Right now, my rankings are a big board. They're not actual rankings yet. They're a big board. It's how I evaluate this class based off talent versus the positions that they play. The final factor there is draft capital. And that will drastically change rankings, as we all know, because historical hit rates are pretty much undefeated, right? So in this scenario, I agree. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders are incredible values here if this is actually how the NFL draft were to pan out. If Cam Ward truly goes number 1 overall, you can take him as high as the 103, the 102, if you truly feel that way, right? Now, for me, I think Luther Burden and Shador Sanders end up being the best values here in round number 1. Luther Burden ended up going round 1 to a spot we haven't really thought of yet. I have never thought of Luther Burden to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I haven't thought about that. I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So, thinking about him in that offense with Liam Cohen at the helm, like the Godwin role. The Godwin role is what Luther Burden would probably play in that offense with Brian Thomas Jr. stretching the field vertically. I mean,
it's there.
I would be all in on Burden, as I already am pretty much, but I'm concerned he goes round 2. If he goes round 1 in a spot like that, it would be hard not to be all in on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, the landing spot is definitely favorable. I mean, have we seen a top 12 wide receiver go to a team to be the wide receiver too?
What,
Am
Golden?
I tripping there? Yeah. Has that happened? Maybe Calvin Ridley with Julio?
Well, Jahan Dotson got drafted that high, which is scary to think about. Remember? They traded off Olave. Dotson got in the top 15 to be number 2 to Terry.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm not saying Golden is like going to be the be on end all. I'm just making a conversation like getting a guy, the first wide receiver off the board, but to be the wide receiver too. Is this smoke or is this like he's going to have a significant role?
He has done nothing but rise up rankings consistently. I mean, you can make the argument last year that Roma Dunze was technically drafted as a number 2 with DJ Moore there, but I don't know how strong that argument is because he was a really good prospect. In the top 15, I'm looking. I mean, Olave, maybe Jameson. Jameson was drafted 12. Again, I said Jahan Dotson, he was 16. Jameson was drafted 12, and they had Amon-Ra who already broke out.
They had Amon-Ra, yeah, that's fair.
But he didn't really have like a full breakout, right? He just had that second half of the rookie year, which was incredibly good. Waddle was drafted to be the 1. Then they traded for...
The trade of Tyreek.
Devonta was drafted to be the 1. They traded for AJ. Going back to 2020. I guess Ruggs... I don't think they had a true 1 at the time.
Well, wasn't Amari there?
Was Amari there? I think Amari was a Cowboy, wasn't he?
Was already out. Okay.
In 2019, we didn't have anyone. We didn't have any in 2018. So yeah, you'd have to go. There's not many examples, for sure. There's not many examples.
No, yeah. Which, once again, just creating conversation. I think like if I see Matthew Golden go to the Cowboys like that, I think he's going to skyrocket to be the number. You know, it's 1A, 1B. That's how you're viewing Matthew Golden if you're drafting him this high.
Yeah. And, you know, Jason's a fair point, but we're talking top 15, right? Top 15 was the conversation there, right? So, all right, I asked the chat. I said, who's the best value in round 1? And here's the responses we got. Matthew Smith. You're never going to guess what Matthew said. He said Cam Ward.
Simon is going to go down as a legend if Cam Ward is If
Cam Ward is the next Joe Burrow, then Matthew Smith is going to go down as an absolute legendary member of the stream.
No question.
Okay, Simon says Burden. We've got a Burden there. We've got a lot of Travis Hunters, which I love. TD says Travis Hunter. Love me some Travis Hunter. Tom says Travis Hunter. I've said this many, many times on record that if Hunter was playing as a wide receiver, he would be the number 1 wide receiver and by
Welcome to New York,
wide
Travis.
margin. By a wide margin.
Welcome to New York.
I think he has CeeDee Lamb type of upside as a receiver. A lot of people saying Ward, obviously, right? You know, we had, Evan kind of summed it up perfectly, right? Kind of how I feel. I don't like Ward, but the value of the first overall quarterback at 6 overall is the best pick. I can totally see that as well, right?
I mean, yeah, I would be taking Ward comfortably, like respectfully over Caleb and Tet.
Yeah, I kind of agree if this is how
landing
it panned out. Yeah.
You know, with these landing spots, like you have to take Cam Ward at the 104. I feel like
probably it's so hard, but probably he can't get past 6 at worst. I think.
No.
All right, that is round 1 in the books. Let's get into round 2. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Got a like goal today on today's stream of 120 likes. If we reach that like goal, we'll do 2 mock drafts with y'all today. Got a lot of stuff to do on the back end for a huge announcement that's coming on the 1st of April. It is not April Fool's. There's a big announcement coming on the 1st of April. We cannot wait for you guys to be a part of this. So we got a lot of work to be done. But, of course, if you want to extend the stream, smash that like button. Let's reach that like goal of 120 and get another mock going. Charlie says, Zach, curious how you came to the CD comparison for Hunter. This might sound outrageous, but I think CeeDee Lamb, I think Travis Hunter is better at the catch point. I think he has better hands than CeeDee Lamb by far. But I think the nature of what he can offer after the catch, it's hard not to see flashes of CeeDee Lamb after the catch when you're watching some Travis Hunter film. I think there's some Devonta Smith mixed in there, some Jerry Jeudy, some CeeDee Lamb. But I think CeeDee Lamb is like the ceiling comp for a name like Travis Hunter. But I think he's far better after the catch than anyone's giving him credit for. And even though he's like this slender frame, he's... And I've said this before, but he has the best ball skills of anyone I've ever scouted in my entire life. That includes draft classes that had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. That includes last year's Marvin Harrison, Neighbors class. Literally, I've never seen a prospect on either side of the ball with ball skills like that. So CeeDee Lamb isn't the perfect prospect, but there isn't a perfect prospect for a player that has his size with those type of ball skills. He's a unicorn. He really is.
You got 10 seconds, by the way, so I don't know if you want to pause.
Okay, yeah, I was explaining that whole comp.
No, yes. that's okay. Yeah, I was letting you finish.
Okay. So we did get a Buka off the board. He was a first-round pick there to the Eagles. And now I have a pick here. I wish Luther Burden was available. He would have been my clear-cut answer here. Travis Hunter's also off the board. And looking at my
Buka goes to the Eagles. I didn't even see that.
Disgusting, right?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I don't believe in this quarterback, if he truly goes round 1, I think I'd be a fool to let him fall any further. So I'm not a big guy on any of these quarterbacks in this class. Like, I don't have a real strong feeling about any of them. I think you can have plenty of reasons to be in or out on any of these quarterback prospects. But if Jackson Dart actually goes in round 1 and the Giants trade up for him, I think it would be foolish to let him fall any further than this.
Yeah, and I think this is huge. I mean, like, you actually had to think about it though. Russell Wilson only a 1-year contract. Jameis is a backup, more of a lock-up guy room. Jackson Dart can sit behind both of those guys, learn with the Brian Daboll offense that he just wanted a guy that he wanted to draft himself, right?
Yeah.
He gets Jackson Dart. They improve the offensive line with Will Campbell. And he has Malik Neighbors there. So, I'm liking it there.
Yeah, 100%. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like the Michael Penix pick a little bit in the sense of he was way undervalued as a first-round quarterback in last year's class because the situation didn't make a lot of sense. Colson Lovin coming off the board. That's a great value pick there. First-round tight end. Goes to the Bucs, though. That's why he fell so far, because I imagine everyone's thinking the same thing. In an offense that has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, how many targets are there to go around for everyone, you know?
Yeah, I get it. It's tough. Tough to picture and envision. I'm on the board.
Yeah, and by the way, we had Dylan Sampson, who went in round 3 to the Bears. Scattaboo, who went in round 3 to the Jaguars. Just so everybody's on the same page.
I need to see where these guys going now.
Yeah. Lots of options here. How high is too high to take Travis Hunter is the question people are asking. So as you're making your pick, I'll say this. I think we'll get an indication of what a team believes they want to utilize him in the most. So if a team drafts him mainly as a cornerback, I don't think you can take him in the first round. But if a team comes out and says he's going to instantly improve our wide receiver room, we're going to feed our offense through him, then I think you can take him as high as the 103, 104. That's as high as you can take him, I'd say.
All right, I'm going to go Trey Harris.
Okay.
I actually really like this landing spot. He goes to the Green Bay Packers. he takes over, I'm assuming that Romeo Dobbs role. They get a bigger wide receiver. Obviously, Christian Watson is not going to be there for the remainder of the season because he tore that ACL. They're just getting bigger and bigger. So I like the other options. I thought of Noel going to the Texans, but they bring in Kirk. I thought of Royal, but he goes to the Panthers. I wasn't a huge fan personally of that landing spot, but maybe I'm still a little bit biased on the Panthers.
Yeah,
I don't really know, but the draft capital is there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, the landing spot with Trey Harris to the Packers, because the Packers are really good at developing receivers out of round 2. It makes a lot of sense, and he has such a high upside, but he has the widest range of outcome in this class, I think, by far. Like, one of my floor comps for him was like Christian Watson, which is funny because he goes to the Packers here.
Yeah, he goes to the Packers. Yeah.
But that is certainly not his ceiling. His ceiling is not Christian Watson. He has this weird, incredibly crazy range of outcomes, from like a Jonathan Mingo to a Watson to a Pickens to a Nico Collins. There's like such a wide range of outcomes for a player like that. So yeah, I like the pick. All right, after that we had Jalen Knoll, who went in round 2 as well. He went to the Texans. I personally love that pick. Y'all know I love that player as well. I think you could pretty much put him in the slot from day one. It's weird with Kirk there. I'll give you that. Giddens was the next player off the board. I believe he went round 3. Is that right? Or did he? Yeah, he went round 3 to the.
Yeah, he went round 3
to the Browns there. And then we had Royals, Higgins, Bond, Arroyo. We know Royals went round 2 to the Panthers. Higgins went round 2 to the Jets. Bond, I think, was round 3. So yeah, we got to ask you guys a question. Who's the best value in round 2? All right. Who's the best value in round 2? We want to hear your opinions. We want to see what you think in the chat here. And, Tom makes a great point. Talent. When we're talking about a name like Colson Loveland, I think he was a huge value here at the 205, being a first-round pick to the Bucs. Agree. But he makes a great point, right? Brock Bowers scared a lot of people off of the Raiders spot. So yeah, he makes a great point there. Now, before we hear from the chat, Badaki, who do you think was the best value in round 2? Before we hear the chat's opinion here.
Well, I have 2 people. I have Jackson Dart and Colson Loveland. Kind of just piggybacking off of what you said. Talent, getting a first-round tight end in the second round is pretty significant. Whether Mike Evans or Chris Godwin is there, you're drafting this guy with a high draft capital to get him some opportunity. At least you hope so, right? And then Jackson Dart, who you take at the 202 as a first-round quarterback, going to a place where he can sit, learn, and develop, I also think is, outside of him going to my Giants, that's a plus for me. But like, go anywhere else, right? Yeah. And he's sitting behind a quarterback for a year and then getting him at the 202 is significant.
I agree. All right, what does the chat think? Well, Paul thinks that Jaden Higgins was the best value there at the 210. We have someone saying Jalen Knoll. I love it, from Simon here at the 207. Egbuka, Egbuka, we didn't really talk about much. He went at the 201. We all love Egbuka. I don't think anyone in the industry, Dynasty and the NFL draft, I don't think anyone doesn't love this guy, right? Yeah. Safest floor of any receiver. But he goes 32 to the Eagles. That's why he falls, because it's just really difficult to envision when you could start him, right? But great player. Loveland, a lot of people saying Loveland, that's the most common. Connor says Samson. Let's get into round 3 here. Still a lot of great options available on the board for you guys. Really enjoying this draft. We're about 26 likes away from our goal. So if you guys are out there, you want a second mock draft, go ahead and smash that like button. 26 likes away from our goal today, and we will pop off a second mock draft. You'll have a chance to join us. So if that interests you, then help us get there. Just updating my board to make sure I've got all of the players marked as drafted. Yes, so we had Arroyo, Bond, Higgins, all these guys off the board. Let me update that. What's up, Liam? The second draft will start right after we finish this one if we reach our goal. So won't be too long from now, for sure.
All right, let's see how this third round goes here.
Fair. Yeah, if a wide receiver goes to the Eagles, man, I would have no idea how to value that player, truly.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't know how. I know Devonta Smith just got a contract. Was that this year?
Or
was that last
I think
year?
that was last
So, like,
year, yeah.
I mean, you could playing devil's advocate. Like, they have an out in 2028, and Mika Buka goes to this team. Where is his relevancy? I know there was rumors of AJ Brown potentially being traded. So like that could be something. Obviously, Howie likes to keep this team young as possible. They don't have an out until 2027, and AJ Brown is only 28 years old. So
yeah,
depth is good, but getting depth in the first round,
yeah.
maybe trade back and get some. I don't know. What do I know?
No, I hear you. I'm gonna grab Devin Neal here. Round 4. I don't like round 4. I have to recognize that. Not a big fan of him going that late. But the landing spot is too tantalizing this late in a rookie draft to pass up. Round 4 to the Chargers. So in this scenario, they'd be rocking with Neal and Najee this year. And I think Neal would have a great chance to kind of work into that rotation. Ellick was the other name I was considering. I might not be the biggest Ellick guy, but I thought he was a glaring value as well with the 55th overall pick, right? I mean, you took Trey Harris, who went right by him, and Jalen Royals and Jalen Noel. All those guys went mid, late second, and Ellick's available there at the 303, so I thought that was also really, really great value as well. I just couldn't pull the trigger with Devin Neal on the board there. As Damian Martinez comes off the board, he was the 4th round pick to the Bengals, and you go Ollie Gordon. I thought Ollie would go higher with the Cowboys landing spot. I thought he was going to go higher than that.
I thought so as well. I was having another look to see if the Cowboys drafted another running back before him in this mock draft. But I mean, look, 5th round is not the best, but he's going into a running back room that's pretty bare.
Yeah.
Right? Only Javonte Williams there. So the opportunity for him winning that job is there. But the draft capital wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the flip side of this is, how would you feel if you owned Javonte Williams and Ollie Gordon got drafted there? I mean, that's something we should think about as well, because
I think Javonte is going to be the starter.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I don't think this would be worst case scenario for a Javonte Williams. Obviously, we know how talented Ollie is if he figures everything out. But I think if you're a Javonte guy, you're probably like, this is okay. I can see a real shot that Javonte leads the way this year. 5th round pick, Ollie Gordon, talented guy, but a lot to prove still.
I completely agree. There will be a lot of question marks going into each and every week. I think we're not going to know who's going to be a starter in that backfield on a week-to-week basis, which is going to be frustrating. And then if you see consistency out of that, you see 2 games of Javonte Williams, 80 yards, 15 carries, a touchdown. You're like, okay, he does it twice a week. He's probably going to most likely win that job until he either gets hurt or Ollie Gordon has
what
crazy.
We could see is Javonte Williams completely revive his career. Now 2 years off from that injury, and we'll be like, oh shit, Javonte's back. But that's probably the least likely scenario. But yeah. All right. As after Ollie Gordon, we had my guy Kyle Williams come off the board, one of my favorite wide receivers in this class. James Fannin, Brashard Smith. I was eyeing him up as well with one of my picks. This landing spot is so intriguing here. Round 4 to the Dolphins. Perfect fit for the player, but you've already got a better version of Brashard Smith on the team. His name is Devon Achane. So I don't really know what this means for him, but I love him as a player. I think he's so intriguing, a Tyrone Tracy type. Savion Williams also coming off the board there. Big body, fun type of upside name. Restrepo comes off the board. Bori says, I still can't believe Restrepo ran the 4.8. Yeah, dude, same.
He's been on Twitter defending himself. I've been seeing that.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was interesting. I mean, none of us. I assume he's telling the truth, but I don't know. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, I assume what he's saying is facts, but obviously we have no way to really check that. But he said, if you guys don't know, he said that, what did he hurt his hamstring? Was it? What did he hurt? I can't remember.
That one I didn't see.
Yeah, Xavier Restrepo is saying that he got injured before his 40-yard dash, and that he was consistently doing like a 4.55 in practice.
The one that I saw was like, which one did I see? Was just like him defending myself. He's like, oh, like I run a little slow, and now I'm no longer like a top prospect type vibe.
Well, he was never a top prospect in my eyes, but the testing didn't help his case for me.
But yes, yeah, I found what he said. He says, or what you're saying, hamstring tightened up during warm-ups, leading him to extremely slow 4.83 during warm-ups yesterday before the 40. My right hamstring tightened up.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you send me that tweet?
Yeah, give me a sec.
And I'll show everybody. Yeah. Yeah, I like the pick too. What's up, Patrick? You can get into the next mock. Did we reach our like goal? We should be close. We're 2 likes away from our like goal, which is 120. So once we reach that like goal, we will send out a new link in our Discord. But Aki, you can explain how he can join if you like.
Yeah, I'll actually do that now, just so people can get ahead of it. Guys, if you want to join a mock draft, whether it's now or in the future, join our Discord. I just put that link in the chat, and I'll put that link, or that link is also in the description. Once you join our Discord, you're going to see the Fantasyland tab there with the orange footballs. Go to announcements. That's where you can join each and every mock draft. Every single mock draft we ever do on this channel is most likely going to be on this channel unless we change it, okay? But once I get that link and we set that up and we obviously hit that like goal, we'll be able to send that to you.
Yeah, and here's the report, by the way, from Restrepo. Now look, it's Dov Kleiman, the most unreliable person on Twitter, but I've heard this from multiple sources, and Dov just stole it from someone and didn't give them credit, like he always does. And I think someone bought this account, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, he says, during warm-ups yesterday before the 40, my right hamstring tightened up on me and prohibited me to open up and running my fastest. The reason I still ran is because for 2 weeks straight, I consistently hit the 4.53, 4.58 laser in training, and I thought I could still pull it off. I did everything just because it's in my blood to compete. So that's his rationale behind it.
Gosh. Matt Bomb, 2.9 out of possible 10.
Yeah, I actually saw that. And I'm going to go through our rookie report and update a lot of these guys who went to their pro days here in a second. But yeah,
gosh, it's pretty glad to hear.
293. He would need to be an outlier. There's a good chance he could be a roster clogger. And you are going to get auto picked there.
Oh gosh, I was looking at the tweet. That's okay.
You're good.
Mason Taylor.
Yeah, not a bad pick.
See where he went.
So this
went to the Saints.
Yeah, 290. He's gonna have to be a historical outlier, which is possible. Kev, I don't believe he ran at the combine, my friend. I don't believe we saw Restrepo run the 40 at the combine. I could be wrong. No. Someone let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't think we did.
I'll have a look at it. I think he was there. He did participate. In the sense of, like, you know, he was doing, I think, bench presses and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up being like a reliable player at the next level, then he will be the photo that everybody sends around when they're talking about outliers. Look at this.
Yeah, no, he didn't do that.
He didn't participate. Right? Yeah.
He just did bench presses and he measurements and stuff. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
that makes sense. Because otherwise, if he felt good about his time at the combine, I don't think he probably would have.
There's no point of doing it at that. Yeah, it just sucked that everyone and their mother was there for him.
Yeah, because of Cam Ward, right? He got like such a big audience. So unfortunately, in that scenario, it did not benefit.
Imagine running that slow in front of everyone. Oh, that's actually embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's actually.
I feel bad for him, honestly.
Yeah, I would be terrible.
I saw a different prospect. I think they were a lineman, but they were running the 40-yard dash and they like twisted their ankle up in front of everyone. That would also really suck to have that happen to you. Yeah. Connor says even Ashton Hall could run faster than Restrepo. Yeah, this man's getting a lot of attention online. Are you seeing these videos, Badaki? Do you have any opinions on these videos? Let's send this link out, by the way, and get another mock going. I sent the link to you.
Okay, hold on.
So we're gonna send this second link. I appreciate y'all for helping us reach our like goal. We're gonna send this second link out where you guys can join us in a mock draft. It's in the Discord announcements. Badaki's about to send it out here.
3, 2, 1.
And we'll let more people get in. Badaki and I will take we'll sit on the sidelines for this one and see what you guys end up coming up with. But have you seen those videos?
With what?
Ashton Hall.
Oh, is that big buff dude that?
Yeah.
Going crazy?
Like a routine, and he's like showing the routine every day. It's like 3:30 a.m. wake up, 3:31 walk outside.
I know. I just think it's like
2 push-ups.
It's like one of those motivational things. It's like, how much do you sleep? 8 hours? I sleep for 2.
Yeah.
I work when you're sleeping, I'm working.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's like he's grinding. It's like, all right, brother.
Exactly.
Like, let's relax.
All right. Well, I mean, you and I let the community go in a mock draft without us, and then they lose their minds. First 10 seconds, we let them free reign here. You know, we gotta bring the cattle in a little bit here. Ashton Genty goes 3rd overall. This will literally never happen in any of your rookie drafts, and if it does, come back and I'll pay you $10 and say sorry. What in the world is Ashton Genty falling at the 103.4 here? All right, we leave you for 1 second. This could be possible. Sammy says Griff could have misclicked. He probably thought Genty was going 1. That is possible. McMillan comes off the board as well.
That's actually so true.
Just quickly on the whole Ashton thing, I think he knows what he's doing. I think it's
no question.
I think it's what's the word? Like when
Smart
you know
marketing?
it's fake and you're like leaning into it, satire. I believe what he's doing is satire, and he is building a big audience and making money off of it, so he's just gonna keep doing it. Yeah, engagement farming, satire, that kind of thing.
My thing is like, is he just like a rich dude that just like started making content?
Yeah.
Because the places that he's in and the cars that he goes into before he even blew up, it was crazy.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, talking about crazy, Judkins falling to the 108 when he's one of the first picks in round 2 to the Broncos. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
This mock draft is bonkers. I mean, we leave you guys for 1 second. All right, we leave you for 1 second, and things go crazy. All right, what are we gonna do with you guys? I don't know. Okay, all right. This is chalked. This is absolutely chalked. We just got a round 3 running back ahead of the 2nd overall pick in the draft. All right, you guys are going bonkers now. Let's turn this mock draft into a Q&A. Let's give you guys some value, because this is really, why am I in this draft? I don't want to be a part of this. Don't let me be a part of this. All right, I'll take Matthew Golden, 12th overall pick, and I get him at the 112. I didn't want to be a part of this. All right, let's turn this into a Q&A. This mock draft, all right, the 2nd mock draft, let's turn it into a Q&A. You can ask us questions if you want.
Zach's panic is like, people are gonna watch this later.
I don't want to be a part of this one. Ashlyn says, would you trade the 103 in Hawkinson in a premium to move up to Genty? It's a half-point premium. 103 in Hawkinson.
You trade the 103 in Hawkinson.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not a big advocate of like the point premium making a huge difference.
0.5, no, but a full point, it makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah, full point, a huge difference.
Yeah. This draft is wild. Where did Dart go? He went to the Giants in round 1. The Giants traded up for him in round 1 in this mock draft. Simon says, where would you take Restrepo in rookie drafts if he gets 4th round capital? Depends on what team he goes to.
But depends on the landing spot.
I can tell you 4th round draft capital for a wide receiver in the last 11 years, so over a decade, has a 4.4% hit rate. And that is for a top 24 points per game season. If you're looking at a top 12 points per game season, a 4th round pick has a 2.2% hit rate. So with him not being an elite athlete, going round 4, not being someone that I was all that high on, I probably would say he'd be a 4th round pick for me in that scenario.
Yeah.
101 or A-Rich and Leggett. I'll probably go 110. 110 or A-Rich, and I'll go the 110
right.
there.
Yeah, I'm there with you as well.
And I'm not a big Leggett guy. I wasn't, just never really been a big Leggett guy. I just don't, look, he was injured for a lot of last year, so we have to keep that in mind, but I just don't think he's a true number 1. Make it a league. Tom says, do snozberries actually taste like snozberries?
I don't want to sound like an idiot, but the hell's a snozberry?
I don't think that's real.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What the hell is a snozberry?
I'm going to go ahead and assume that is not a real thing.
Snozberry is a type of jelly candy.
Specifically it's Super Troopers. I've never seen Super Troopers. Have you?
No. Hold on.
I have never seen Super Troopers. Let's see.
Images.
We're going to draft here. Oh, yeah. We'll grab Giddens this late. Hell yeah. Yeah, no. Never watched Super Trooper. I mean, it came out when I was a kid. And my parents wouldn't let me watch it. And then I just never watched it growing up. But I'll have to add it to the list.
Super Troopers. No, I haven't seen. Is that the movie that says, "How tall are you, Sergeant?" He goes, 6'4". I've never seen shit stacked up so high.
Oh wait, I think my dad is. I think I've watched this movie with my dad, but I was so young I didn't even remember it. Because I remember the guy with the mustache. Anyway.
I feel like it's one of these like that's the movie, but I could be wrong. Someone's saying no.
Someone said it's from Willy Wonka. You guys are funny. All right, CD or Rice and Ayuk? I think CD Lamb is a pretty easy answer there. Harrison says, would you trade Smitty in the 103 for the 101? I think we answered this one at the very beginning of the stream. But to answer again, yes, we would. Jeff says, have the 101, 105 in the 105. So you got the 105 twice here. Would you trade out or the 106 for a good running back wide receiver? It really depends on your team, your league settings.
On your team, yeah.
That's hard to answer just straight up. James says, I just traded the 108, 208 and Jerry Duty for Amon-Ra, the Sun God. Yeah, that's a huge W. That's probably the cheapest Amon-Ra we've seen in a while.
Yeah, that is good.
Do I watch any anime? Yeah, I love SpongeBob growing up.
Do you consider SpongeBob anime?
I purposely say that to people who are like big anime fans because it just pisses them off.
No, I'm not a big anime guy.
But I don't have any problem with anime. I think there's a lot of people that I know and love anime.
Would people consider Invincible anime?
I don't think so. I don't think anime would be... Invincible surely is an anime. I just always say that as a joke, the SpongeBob thing. But, yeah, I watched Ed, Edd and Eddy growing up.
I used to love that show.
Avatar: The Last Airbender would be anime, yeah. What does it have to qualify to be anime? I guess that's a good question. Like, what does the show have to do
is Pokemon anime
to qualify for that category? That's the question we should probably be asking.
X-Men 97, is that anime? I feel like that's anime, low-key.
Anime, specifically Japanese animation.
So definitely Pokemon's anime then.
Yeah. Yeah. Best anime of all time, SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm just kidding.
I would consider that. I was trying to think of a black word for anime.
Yeah?
What's the black equivalent word for anime?
I think it's anime, bro.
Can figure that out.
I think you guys say anime too.
You think? Oh, we say anime as well?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you say anime?
I don't know. Black anime. That's funny.
All right, a lot of questions in the chat. Hard to keep up now, but this has been fun. I appreciate y'all for all being here. Smash that like button. I'm not gonna lie to you. This second mock draft is completely chalked. We've got Devin Neal, 4th round pick, going at the 203, ahead of a 1st round quarterback in Jackson Dart. We've got Ginty going 3rd overall. We have one of the better picks in the draft, Judkins, falling at the 108 when he went to the Broncos early round 2. All right. Dylan Sampson was a 3rd round pick. He went at the 110. Caleb Johnson was a 3rd round pick. This whole thing is completely chalked. Please don't take this with any seriousness. Hopefully the first mock was a little bit more serious. And we appreciate y'all big time for being here. I always enjoy these streams. What is it? Is it a Wednesday in America? It's a Thursday here? Yeah. These Wednesday streams are always pretty enjoyable.
That's funny. People are funny today.
People are on one right now, and I love it.
You know what we should have done? We should definitely do a tier ranking thing. We haven't done that in a minute. We
have not done that in a long time. Nick Nash comes off the board. I'm going to take the last player. Take Isaac Tesla for the lulls. Just for the lulls.
No, it's actually midday here. It's 12 p.m.
Yeah.
12:08 on Thursday.
Yeah, just past noon.
Yeah, so normally when we start live, it's at 11, and we'll normally live for 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes, depending on the day.
Yeah, exactly. When we need an anime guy, we will hit you up, Joel. All right, guys. So that was the first part of today's stream. This is a 2-part stream. And the second part is doing some team reviews and getting some people their Dynasty playbooks. Now, we only have one league that we are reviewing live, which is Perry. Patman's offline. So we're going to review Perry's team. But there are, I mean, we can do up to 4 or 5 live reviews if you guys want to sign up today and get a same-day review on this live stream. Obviously, there's absolutely no pressure, but we are going to go ahead and transition to that part of the stream, and we'll be giving out these playbooks. Playbook is a customized game plan for your offseason. We'll give you specific trade targets that you can do in your league, what to do with your draft capital. You can get this by becoming a Land Annual Mother Flocker member. You'll get a voucher. You'll then go to the Flock store. You'll purchase a team review from Zach and Badaki, and if you want it done live, make sure you get the live tier. If you're a member, you'll get the voucher, right? And that will make the offline review completely free. It will make the live view, the live tier, I think like $7 to upgrade when you become an annual member. Okay, so those are your options. Now, if you're a member on a different promo code and you want to get a playbook still, you want to get your playbook, you still can. You just need to purchase one a la carte through the Flock store. It's the same process, but you just won't have a voucher when you go to the checkout. So that is the option for you. But again, we have multiple spots. If you want to get a same-day review, it is available today. We're only going to do Perry's review as of right now. That's the only one that is scheduled. So keep that in mind. But when you become an annual member, you get the rookie report, you get the team playbook voucher, you get the free trade question, start sit voucher, unlock our complete rankings, all the premium databases and articles and draft guides on the website. Of course, you're supporting myself and Badaki. You also unlock our entire Discord. One of my favorite parts of our Discord is our Dynasty Trades channel, where we've got our community constantly helping each other out. People are constantly sending trades here, and if you're a member, you will be able to unlock this section as well. But again, that is the dealio. If you want to get a team playbook, you know how to get one. Let's transition here And let's get to our first review, maybe our only review of the day, which is Perry 1771. Okay. If Perry's in the chat, let us know as well.
All right, Perry, once again, thank you so much for the support. We'll have a look at this team. Let me just turn down this music that's in my ear. It's pretty crazy right now. Okay. League is very stingy. Doesn't like
it's a stinky. Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny doesn't like to make moves unless first are involved. It's a problem though when only like 4 teams has first. Also, running backs tends to be overvalued in my league. Sure. Okay, so 2 quarterback, 12 teams, start 9, which is meat and potatoes. Meaning you can start up to about 2 flexes in this league.
Yeah.
It is a full point tight end premium, so it's pretty significant. Let's have a look at your team here. You're currently ranked 3rd out of 12. And your team name is Perry, yes. Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, phenomenal quarterback room. You don't really have to worry there. At the running back position, you have Chuba Hubbard, Monty, Jordan Mason, Isaac Herendo, and the list goes on. Decent running back room. I mean, I'm a little concerned about Monty, what that production is without Ben Johnson there. Maybe that 1-2 punch is no longer what we thought it was or is going to be. But still, a decent room if everything goes together. 4 wide receivers you can start: Drake London, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, and then maybe Jordan Whittington. Your 4th wide receiver is in question with Sam Laporta and Jonnu Smith, and a full point premium is pretty significant. But the downfall here, Perry, is that you don't have
no capital whatsoever.
Any capital to work with.
Your draft capital means literally nothing. And that is tough because if you're going to want to improve this team, I mean, you're going to have to get creative in a way that you might not want to. That's the reality. If your league thrives on trading around first-round picks and the best pick you have is a second-round pick in 2026,
I just wonder what you got for that. You sent your 26th pick and your 25th pick.
I am very curious as well because a team that has no first to look this way is a little bit surprising. I almost feel like we're going to be forced to tear down from Josh. I don't see another option.
Exactly. That's the only option. And the only thing that I can think of you probably trying to get from last year, Sam Laporta in a full point premium. Josh Allen. Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is difficult. I think looking at the pathways, by the way, it's a start 9, so it's a meat and potatoes. It's, depth is not as important, so at least you have that going for you. If you think about your starting lineup right now, it's probably Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Chuba, Monty, London, Higgins, Laporta, and then Devonta. That means that you are still in that scenario 1 flex short of relevancy still. Even with the roster as it's currently constructed, you would need Jonnu Smith to do exactly what he did last year to really have a chance with this team. You need Jordan Mason to take over the role. I don't really want to trade Caleb Williams or Michael Penix because they're not going to really accomplish the goal that we have in mind, which is to make a true difference on this team. As in, how do I explain? If we trade Michael Penix, maybe we can get a Breece Hall, a DJ Moore plus, a T. Higgins. We already have a T. Higgins.
It's not even like you can wait either. You have to sell.
And with Penix and Williams, I really don't want to sell them because I think they could both really improve their value. Whereas you look at an asset like Josh Allen, no matter how you stack it, doesn't matter what Josh Allen does for the rest of his career, he's never going to be more valuable than he is today. That doesn't mean you have to sell him if you have him in your leagues, by the way. It just means you have to be aware that he is the only asset in your quarterback room that doesn't really have a chance to improve his value. He's already gotten the contracts. He's already made the most money. He's already finished quarterback 1 multiple years. There's nothing else he could possibly do in the Dynasty community's eyes to improve his value from here on out. In fact, whether you think it's fair or not, because of age, he'll get less and less valuable each and every year. And the rain is coming out and it's pouring down and it's a beautiful day outside. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. I'm thriving right now.
I got sunshine here. This is
I got
phenomenal for me.
sunshine.
Anyways, he's talking about freaking rain, this guy.
I think you have to move Josh, man. I mean, the overall team grade right now, considering you have no draft capital, I don't understand how you're ranked third, personally. And this is just honest transparency. I mean, I guess the guy ranked number 1. It doesn't look that great either. But he has draft capital. I mean, I gotta say, it's like a C+. Am I being too harsh? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. C+, B-?
Yeah, I would go C+, especially. Yeah, I'll go C+. And I guess obviously it's
not a terrible team, by the way. Like I think we're maybe being too harsh, but I just think you're in a really difficult position when you're trying to make moves right now. You have almost no flexibility on this team to really make a difference.
You know, someone brings up a good point. It says tear down from Laporta as well. Maybe we should start there and see what we can get for Laporta.
We can try that
before we sell Allen.
Full point premium. Now Laporta is tough because he's more of a buy than a sell. He's really hurt his value this year compared to what it was last year. But yeah, we can definitely try that. Let's first talk about what we think the pathway is for this team. Is it not the definition of Windows Open?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It definitely is. Okay,
so I think we're on the same page there. This is a Windows Open roster. You have no pick. They have no first this year. You have no first next year. You might as well go out there and
put that new one on the drive, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
I replaced it and it's not showing for some reason. Let me see if I can relink it.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure like you knew that. I didn't actually communicate that with you, but I just put it up there.
No, here we go. Let's see. Windows Open. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Untouchables are going to be Josh Allen. That's it. And we might trade Josh Allen.
Yeah, most likely.
There's a lot of holds, I would say, on this team. Like, for example, Caleb and Michael Penix seem like strong holds, in my opinion. Jordan Mason, Isaac Horindo, both very strong holds as well. For a team like this who's trying to compete, you might as well hold on to Jonnu Smith as well in a full point premium. If he has 60 to 70% of the workload he had last year, that's going to be a startable asset. As far as drops, Ray McLeod's droppable. Rondale Moore, you can move on from. Tyson Bagent, you know, I guess if you want to cover off Caleb, you can keep him, but you don't really need him necessarily. You know, Trey Tucker, you can move off if you wanted to. Stover. Does your waiver wire have any signs of life? I would definitely pick up De'Ami Brown. 100%. We need to pick up De'Ami Brown. There's no real guarantee that he can do anything, but he's got the contract, and they haven't brought anyone to replace Kirk yet, so he should be picked up. And that's probably it. All right, is admin all done?
Yeah, draft capital was like a D-.
Yeah, draft capital, I would say F, honestly. Okay, so
that is admin.
Let's go to the chalkboard here. We'll start with a Sam Laporta idea, and then we'll move on from there. You guys are right. That might be the best move, but I just don't think you're going to accomplish as much as you could with a Josh Allen move. But that doesn't mean we can't look at it. So let's have a look from the bottom up. This guy is Dalton Schultz. He's got Ricky Pearsall. Look, like a Pearsall 105 makes a ton of sense. And in a full point premium, if that's possible, I think you can keep Allen. But I don't know if that's possible. With that was possible last year with Laporta. I'm not really sure that's possible this year.
I think in a full point premium, like this guy is going to be looking for tight end. Maybe Colston and Warren. Well, maybe they're not off the board yet.
In his mind, he's like, I could just keep it and draft Warren.
But
I guess if he wants a guarantee.
I mean, the thing is, well, I'm not saying he's going to get a quarterback, but like he also could get Cam there. After the conversation we just had, he has Geno. It's not a must.
Well,
I think it is. I think it's a possibility. Anyways,
here's what I'll say. The most widely used calculator, which we hate, we would always push you towards the Flock site because it values players better, especially top-end talents. But on the most used calculator in the industry, it says it's a fair trade when you do a full point premium. So if they say it's possible, let's try and exploit that. Let's use KTC as a weapon rather than really a resource. I think that alone would probably be enough for this guy to keep Josh Allen.
Because
then you finally give another flex. You can rely on Jonnu and whatever you do at the 105.
You can wait and see. You can wait and see what's going to happen going into next year, or going into that season. If it doesn't work out, then okay, you know what? Maybe we can make another move.
Yeah, I think that is a great idea. Let's keep looking at some of these teams. This guy is Cole Kmet. He's got Bucky and Waddle, Judy, Evans. I don't really see a deal here for us.
No, I don't.
I don't think you can get Bucky. Do you think you could get Bucky Evans or Bucky Sutton? I don't think you could.
Bucky and Evans.
Well,
maybe
you can.
I think maybe you can. I feel like that might be a lit. I feel like it would be like one of those things like, okay, we need to throw a second type vibe if we had one. But we don't.
If they use KTC, then you have a shot there. But then if you do a deal like that, you're definitely stuck with Jonnu Smith. And no one can guarantee you what that road's going to look like.
They can also drop tight end.
Who?
The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, 100%. All right, this guy's got Njoku. I'm not sure he's really bothered, but you could try like a tier down here. You could go like Njoku Ayuk, Njoku CMC, and obviously you probably couldn't do that straight up because Njoku's a fine option himself. But if you tried Njoku plus CMC or Njoku and Ayuk, what would we need to give back to make this happen, I wonder? Is there another swap? He's got Lamar, so that's probably not going to work. I don't think a Josh Lamar swap's going to make a needle move. He's got Jacoby Mooney. Man, you're so restricted with this roster. You'd have to give him your second next year.
Who we need to give him our second?
I think so.
Right, okay. I feel like if we can get Ricky in the 105, surely we can get Ayuk and Njoku. Or am I tripping there?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I feel like if the 105 and Ricky we can get, according to KTC, then Njoku and Ayuk is definitely something we can get. Are you talking specifically the CMC one?
No, you're right. I guess I'm undervaluing Laporta again, a full point premium. It's just hard to get into that full point premium mindset all the time.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay Fins? Yes, man, absolutely. If you get a live one tonight, we can do it for you tonight. We've got some free spots on today's stream. Okay, I mean, all of these I think make a lot of sense. Njoku makes a ton of sense because you keep a tight end that you can start, but you add a CMC or Ayuk in this kind of window.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's keep looking though. Evan Ingram might be the most ideal here. It's going to be tough to tear down to these names though.
Yeah, because Ingram is Ingram technically higher than Njoku in rankings, according to the community?
No, I don't think so. Because of age, I doubt it. But I'm just saying, like, the pieces to make this work would be difficult.
That's why I was like, if he was lower than... Ingram was
You know what you would
lower than
have
Njoku,
to do, I
then-
think? If you wanted to go, like, Ingram AJ or Ingram Rice, I think there's a path here that could work if the guy is willing. But I think you're going to have to get creative. And as much as we don't want to lose one of these young quarterbacks, I think you're going to have to do a Tua swap with one of these two young names. Maybe Penix. I think you're going to have to do a Penix plus Laporta and then you're gonna have to do the Tua, Ingram, Brown. I think that's the route you're gonna have to go. And I'm well aware that we don't want to get rid of Penix, and I'm well aware that most people don't want to own Tua, but I'm also well aware that this is probably why you get this deal done. I'm well aware of a lot of things. I'm also wildly unaware of other things. So
no, like that deal's not terrible.
Tua, who else did I say? Ingram and AJ Brown, right? Yeah. See, I can do this in my sleep. And I think that's the same exact thing for Rice as well. In my opinion. Maybe you could do it cheaper. Maybe you could ask back for Travis Etienne or something in that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then you can, like, kind of as a throw-in, and then you can throw back, throw that ass in a circle. You could throw back, Tajay Spears maybe?
Yeah, we probably can. We can do that.
Yeah. What's up, Connor? With a membership, if you're already a member, I think live reviews, like with our code, you'll get a discount. I think it comes to like 63 or something with your discount as a member. Okay, so I think if your league, it's a full point premium, so they should value Laporta higher, very high. And if they do, I think you actually could potentially get away with keeping Josh Allen.
Yeah, and I think I would, even though we're going to explore Josh Allen, as you're watching this, Perry, I would really strongly, highly, and just, I would rather try and sell Laporta and see what I can get, because if you can get the AJ Brown, Ingram to a deal done, you not only do you upgrade significantly at wide receiver, you still get a competent tight end in a high-powered offense. And you still have a backup quarterback in Tua who is suitable on a week-to-week basis, obviously without the injury. Yeah. So I think that changes so much. And even then, keep in mind, Tua is your QB3 because you're going to be starting Caleb over him anyway. At least, if he breaks down, has that expectation.
Yeah, I was just looking at other options. A lot of these guys that we'd like to buy low on like a Kincaid, they just don't have the names to make it worthwhile. Like a Jake Ferguson, we can't get a Monroe or Chase, and there's not other names to make it worthwhile there. So we might have to go with those options that we mentioned. But I agree with Badaki. I think if you get any one of the... I added Andrews in the 106, by the way. If you get any of these deals done, I think you're safe to hold Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I think my favorite deal...
I think my favorite deal is probably the 105 in Penix or the 105 Ingram, AJ Brown one.
Ricky?
And Ricky, sorry.
I don't mind that one. I really like the
yeah, I like that one as well.
The Laporta Penix
move. And the reason why I like the 105 is because you still have an opportunity to get a running back to improve your running back room, and you still get a wide receiver who, at the moment, is a wide receiver 2, in my eyes, in that offense.
The only issue with this deal is that you're in a difficult spot at tight end if you don't go tight end in the draft.
Yes, you are in a difficult spot.
That's why I really like these Njoku CMC deals and Ayuk deals as well. But at the same time, I recognize that you are tearing down drastically. All right, let's look at a couple of Josh Allen options. The difficult part in selling Josh Allen is that you have to find someone who's ready to take him on. That doesn't always fit. We see your submission there, Jay Fins. Appreciate you, man. We can get to your team next for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that is the issue with selling Josh Allen is most teams are not ready to buy a Josh Allen. You have to find a team with. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add on to that. There's only 4 teams that have first rounders, right? So
yeah.
What those guys that have those first round picks is really the people that you're gonna want to target, and they don't have
I think
I mean, there's probably one. Show me your TDs. He has Bo Nix.
stomach is turning. Looks like an option to me. I'm
Let's
thinking
see.
like a Baker Bijan.
Okay.
Is that like really far off? I don't know if I'm.
Well,
If you're selling Josh Allen, I think you need to get some crazy haul like that.
you need to get a crazy haul, yeah. But like,
Yeah. And then
are we tear?
for a
Is
guy
it tear down?
for a guy who's about to go out and compete right now, you can still start Baker. You've got Caleb and Pinnock still. You add Bijan to your running back room. Your last flex becomes Devonta Smith or David Montgomery. Ideally, you like look in an ideal world, you could net even more. Like you ask for the 110 as well,
Yeah.
because you kind of. I guarantee if you put this trade in on the Flock site, it would say you're getting taken for a ride. KTC is just notoriously like we just did the opposite where we took advantage of Laporta, and now KTC is going to make it more difficult to sell Josh Allen because they're not going to properly value him. So I think that's probably the point where it becomes fair, where you add the 110 into the deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I'm trying to squeeze out as much there.
Burrow.
What if you go like?
If you could go like
you're
Burrow Taylor, I think that's a no-brainer, but I don't think that's possible in most leagues. Burrow JT, you couldn't do Burrow Saquon. Mixon and Connor doesn't make it worth it.
No.
Burrow 105.
Well, this is the team that he would be sending Laporta to. So like, why don't we do a big Josh Allen?
Is
Laporta.
it? Oh yeah. So Josh Allen and Laporta. Well, a big reason why we did that deal was the 105.
The 105, yeah.
For the 105, we'll add Ricky Pearsall here, and
Saquon. Is that too much?
yeah, Saquon's too much, but Terry. That doesn't feel like enough for Allen.
That doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't feel like enough.
Well, Burrow, I don't feel like is that far out of the category here. Actually, this is a tough team to do a multi deal with. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just curious where we kind of stand on KTC. They're not good at valuing these top end guys, but if we said Burrow, the 105, Pearsall, Terry, yeah, so we're kind of in that range. Look, I don't think you're going to skip a beat if you go from Allen to Burrow. At the 105, you can decide to take a Tyler Warren or a Loveland if they get good spots in capital, and then you can have two extra starters in Pearsall and McLaurin. It's not the worst deal.
I'm not jumping for joy though.
I'm not obsessed with it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can also add like the 208 onto there and use that in a deal. So far, I'm not obsessed with any of these Josh Allen deals. Bo Nix would be ideal, but I don't think there's another player that makes it worth it. It'd have to be like Nix 103, 107.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking you tear down, you get Bo Nix, who we both really believe in, like, and you can still get into the draft capital. You still keep Sam Laporta in this world. So then, for example, at that 103, you get a Marion, you get Caleb. At the 107, maybe a tight end falls, which is highly doubtful, but you can get another wide receiver. That can be Mika. That could be one of those other guys, but
you can try and add Tucker Kraft onto that or the 202.
Yeah.
You know how far you can push it if you can get the 204 as well. That's probably the first one that I'm like relatively okay with, but still not 100% sold.
I would agree. I would still rather try and sell Laporta first over Josh Allen. This is just giving us more of a reason why you should keep it.
What about like a Herbert Amon-Ra?
Yeah. That's pretty good. I think
I would do that. I don't think that team is going to do it, but I would do that. I don't think you're going to be able to do Mahomes. Purdy, Purdy Jefferson is a no-brainer. I just don't think they would agree to it. But I'll put it there in case. I think those are your main options there. Yeah. So, Perry, those are your options, my friend. With the draft capital, by the way, we have no idea who the 308 is going to be. We'd be lying to you if we said we did, right? So, no idea. If you can throw any of these picks into any of these deals to make it go over the line, we would do it. But I think my favorite Josh Allen deal was probably the Knicks with the 103, 107. Didn't mind these other two deals, but I definitely prefer, after we've gone through all this, to sell Laporta than anyone else. So, yeah. But you have no picks this year. You have no picks next year. You've got a roster that you need to be competitive with. Some aging players. I think you need to go take advantage of the window, and that's how we would do it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And of course, you're going to be receiving your playbook within 48 to 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy Message system with all the customized information we drew up here for you today. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, big time. We did have someone submit a live review that was, and Pat Mans is offline. But we did have Jay Finn submit a live review. We still have, I'd say, like 3 spots open. Not that we have to fill those spots. We've got stuff that we can go out and do. We got to prep some content as well. But if you're out there and you want your team playbook, it's a customized game plan for your offseason. We'll give you customized trade targets. What to do with your draft capital. Really understanding your league settings and priorities. Then you can become a land annual Mother Flocker member. All right, you can go to the Flock store. When you become an annual member, you'll have a voucher to get a team review. You can get that live team playbook, or you can purchase the offline one. The offline one becomes free with your voucher. The live one becomes $7 for members. So that is the option. And of course, if you're a member on a different promo code, you can still get a team playbook from us, both live and offline. You just go through the same process, but you won't have a voucher. And Jay Finn's here is potentially the last review of the day, but we do have room for more of these same day reviews. So appreciate you, Jay Finns. Thanks for the constant support and love, my friend. And let's get to this next review.
Yeah. Like Zach said, appreciate you, Jay Finns. Thank you so much. Let's read this context here. He said traded Jamar / Burrow stack for Neighbors Daniels in the 104.
Wow. Love it.
That's really good. Then went and traded Chase Brown straight up for the 106. I think that's good as well. Traded Tyrone Tracy and the 306 for the 105. Wow, these people don't know what they're doing. RBs are a huge need. But what advice for 3 backs for the 3 back-to-back picks? All right.
Yeah, well, first off, trading Tyrone for the 105 is bonkers, especially if you did it in the offseason. But even though you've made all these good trades, it's a 10-team start 9. There's still one guy who's just dominating. He's got a decent team. You're ranked 5th right now. It is a 1 quarterback. Okay, so let's take that trade back into mind here. It's a 1 quarterback league. So he traded Jamar Burrow for Neighbors Daniels in the 104. I think I would still do that.
I would still do that in 1 quarterback. Same thing with
Neighbors in the 104
Brown.
is pretty powerful, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all really good information. It is a start 9 1 quarterback, which brings it to a middle ground for a 1 quarterback league. You've got probably 3 flex spots. You can start up to 5 receivers.
Yeah.
Roster's looking a little naked, but walk us through it.
Yeah, let's have a look at this roster here. Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence.
10. Sorry, he added another flex. Okay, so it's a bigger starting lineup.
Okay, so that is start 10, which is rolling deep.
Yep.
In a 1 quarterback league. Okay. Daniels, Lawrence, Wilson, good quarterback room. You just got Daniels at the running back position. You have Najee, Ray Davis, Austin Eckler. But you have the 104, 105, and the 106. at the wide receiver position. You can start up to 6 wide receivers: Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers, Terry, Ricky, Wandale, and DeAndre Hopkins are your top 6 receivers that you can start with Trey McBride, which is not a tight end premium.
Not a good roster currently constructed.
So previously, sorry, I just want to revisit. So you had Burrow, you had Jamar Chase, you had Tyrone Tracy and Chase Brown. So if he didn't,
it's a better roster than what you had before we did your last review. You've definitely put yourself in a better position selling Tyrone for the 105, Chase for the 106, and getting that Daniels Neighbors trade. That was great. I don't remember what we graded your team last time, Jay Fins, but
I have it up here.
Okay.
So we graded it a C plus. He was currently ranked 4 out of 10. We gave him a couple options there. You can actually pull it up. It's number 82, and I'm pretty sure that was in January.
Okay, let's have a look here.
I just pulled it up on my own documents that I did.
Okay, let me have a look. These are finals. Yes, finals. 2025, January, number 82. You don't need to make an individual folder for each of these, by the way.
I just drag and drop because I'm making a folder on my end.
Oh, okay. Okay, right.
So it's just easier to make.
Okay, so this is the last time we looked at this team. All right, and let's look at some of the things that we suggested. So we said your untouchable was Chase. Your holds were Ricky, Ben, Lawrence, and you still have most of those guys. Still have Ricky. Hey, thank God we told you to hold Ricky in January. Right? Because
we did.
He's worth way more now since the Debo trade. Oops. All those.
And the capital is significantly better. Like last time, the capital that you had was just a 206 and the 306.
Yeah.
And now you have 3 first-round picks, which is pretty up there.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. And we suggest moving off of Chase because your team was in such a bad position. Or in a tough spot, not in a terrible position, but in a bad position. But you're right, he only had the 206. That was his highest pick. Yeah, I think you're definitely in a better position now. And let's just continue to improve the team overall. So right now, Najee Harris is our only starter. All right, so we're starting Daniels, Najee, Ghost running back, then Neighbors, Flowers, McBride, Terry, Ricky, Wandale maybe, and another name. Now, you've got 3 first-round picks in an area we really like, honestly. No one's going to take a tight end before the 103, for the 104 in your league, so you're not going to have that advantage in a non-tight end premium. But you still have plenty of options. I think in an ideal world, you maybe go 3 running backs in a row with this team because you can put those guys in the flex spot. If they end up being the best available players, I have no problem triple tapping running backs. But overall team grade, I think you're more of a B- now. You were a C+. I think this is more of a B- with the draft capital that you have. To have names like Trey McBride, Neighbors, Daniels, that's great. I would say untouchables are probably Neighbors, Daniels.
Yeah, Neighbors, Daniels.
But in a 1 quarterback, you could move Daniels. As far as holds, I'm still going to say Ricky Pearsall, same as we said last time. Not 100% opposed to moving a Najee Harris, so I won't put him in that category. I'm going to still say Trevor Lawrence and Ricky Pearsall. I don't really have we'll add Ben Sinnott. You can't sell him for anything. You might as well hold him. And Roman Wilson is worth a hold just because he wasn't healthy all last offseason anyway, or all last season. Your waiver wire, you have De'Ami Brown. I definitely would pick De'Ami Brown up. I'd pick up Miles Sanders as well for your team. Miles, Marvin, and De'Ami would all be priority adds, as well as AJ Barner. So those guys are all priority ads. I would be comfortable dropping Burton, Moore, Palmer, Russell Wilson in a one quarterback. Those are guys you could drop pretty easily. You could extend that if you wanted to like, I don't know. Noah isn't a terrible name to drop if you need more space. But there's a lot of guys on that waiver wire I think that you need to pick up, like Mims, Brown, Sanders. AJ Barner is another one I really like. But yes. And as far as pathway, last time we said sleeper. I think you're in the same pathway. I don't think you've moved out of that pathway for me personally.
I agree.
I still think you're a sleeper. This team is going to be competitive enough with Daniels, Neighbors, McBride, and these wide receivers that you have, as well as the draft capital. I think you're going to be competitive enough, but I wouldn't certainly call you a favorite at this point. But I definitely think you're a sleeper type of contender. Have we done all admin? Can we go to the chalkboard?
That is everything, yes.
Okay. So one of your questions was, how do I use this draft capital? I think in an absolute ideal world, if we get all these running backs going in the first 2 rounds, I think you're going running back 3 times in a row here. Now, that might not be how it works out, but that is my ideal scenario. Hampton is probably not going to fall this far, so it's probably Henderson, Judkins, Johnson.
Judkins, Johnson, yeah, exactly.
Now,
those probably be a 3.
I'm aware that Johnson might not go in round 2, right? And if McMillan or Hampton falls, sure, we can go that way. But I wouldn't also rule out a wide receiver here. You know, for example, Caleb Johnson goes middle of round 3. Okay, we probably can't force him inside the top 6 picks anymore. But if Henderson and Judkins both go in the first 2 rounds, you can definitely grab that duo there to make them your RB1 and 2 and have Najee as your 3. Either way, though, no matter what, don't force a pick because we don't need to figure out our roster at our draft. We play fantasy in September. That's when your roster needs to be fully figured out. So don't force a pick either. But at that 206, you're going to have a great spot as well with all these running backs that we love. The Giddens, Scadaboo, Tootin, Harvey range as well. Now, with a team like this, I don't know if we suggested it last time, but I don't think I would be wanting to sell my picks.
I would agree. I don't want to sell my picks. I mean,
there's
Jay just active Burden. Sorry. Mm-hmm. If Burden or McMillan falls, would you go triple running back? I think it just depends on the running back and the landing spots. I think when it comes down to that landing spot, Jay, you're gonna know where you're gonna go. If you're telling me Burden goes in the first round, but he goes to, I don't know, to the Commanders or to the Rams, to a team that you know is going to be solidified rather than Caleb Johnson in the 3rd, we're probably going to suggest Burden, right? So it just all depends on landing spot.
Yeah, I think if you were to trade these picks, you'd have to get some young guns. Like, for example, the 104, you're looking at like a Bucky Irving, a Devon Achane. You know, like those are the type of moves you would need to make. You would need to prioritize running back. I don't think you can prioritize wide receiver. Of course, if Bucky's going to cost less, you can try the 105 at first or the 106 if you think. But I think if you're going to make trades, I think you need to acquire a young running back that you can, kind of build around for the next 4 or 5 years. But overall, I probably would prefer to stick and pick with the strength of this class. Now,
I would agree.
Names that you could maybe look at trading away, Najee Harris comes to mind.
I mean, I know Zay Flowers was somebody you were willing to trade away. That's probably it.
I think since we last spoke, his value has slightly declined. Terry's interesting. I don't know. I mean, Terry doesn't necessarily fit this guy's timeline. We could explore a Terry trade too. But with Najee, it's like that 201 to 203 range that we're kind of willing to sell him for.
This is super flex. No, it's one card back. Okay, never mind.
With Zay Flowers, we've seen him go as high as the 105. as low as the 110, but kind of in that range. So I'll just say 106 to 109. Terry McLaurin, I'd say he's kind of like on the edge, no? I feel like he's on the edge of a first from what I last remember in the market right now. Like, is the 111 close? Yeah. Maybe the 110. I kind of think that's kind of fair range. So 110 to the 111 is kind of what you're looking at. We can also look at teams that are more competitive than us and see if we can do some sort of pivot with those names. So let's sort by wide receiver strength. And let's look at Bobby's team, for example. Like I don't want to go to a Pickens, but a Dunze might cost too much. But would you do like Terry and the 206? I think we would both do that pretty comfortably. I don't think the Adunze owner is going to say yes. But I also wouldn't do like Terry in like the 105 or something. I think that's paying too much. Fly Like Mike has Brian Thomas. There's just no wiggle room there. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Olave. Olave is interesting. I mean, what if you sold... I'm struggling to make the pieces match. I was going to try and get like the 201 in Olave. But we'd have to sell like Najee with that. Would we be willing to do that? I think that would make a lot of sense, actually.
Najee in the 201, 100%. That makes sense. Yeah.
So, sorry, more Terry and Najee for Olave in the 201.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. As much as I love Terry. He just doesn't fit your timeline as much. I don't know that a trade here makes sense. That guy doesn't really need wide receiver anyway.
What's a Waddle's value? Maybe you can do a swap. Maybe you probably can't do a swap, actually. Yeah,
I think those are your main options. These other teams at the top of the board just don't need wide receiver. So I don't think they'd really be interested in Terry.
Maybe he could be an intel season. Sorry, if your team doesn't go in the right direction, right? Like Jaden Daniels has Terry as a top 12 wide receiver, but you're 2-7.
Yeah, you could look to
see what you can get. See what you can get for him.
You know what a team like this also could do is like go the Rashee Rice route too. Rashee Rice is so widely viewed differently by every league. It's crazy. I mean, I released a video today and I talked about him and someone was like, I sent 2 seconds. And like the deals I'm seeing, it's like people are commenting he's too expensive, there's no way, and people are commenting, look at the deal I just got for Rashee Rice, he's so cheap. So
yeah,
a team like this that's competing, they might be interested because he'll be in a suspension. So you could look at that. Yeah, I think those are your main options with Terry. As far as Najee goes, maybe we can find one team that is competing that needs running back. Well, that's funny that you came up there. Like Rose, they have nothing to match it though. This guy's already got enough Najee Harris level players.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, this isn't gonna
tough.
Be a great.
I look. Only way you can do it, I would say, is like maybe some
Action Jackson could be perfect. The 202, 204 range.
Okay, yeah.
What you could actually do is you could go Najee Harris, and you could try and get the 202 and the 204, and then you also send him back the 206. So you're moving up 2 spots, but you're also grabbing the 202. That could be perfect, actually.
Yeah, I actually like that.
I think those are your main options, though, man. Zay Flowers, I think if you're not going to sell him for a pick, you might as well hold him because he's young and he fits your timeline anyway. I also don't mind if you wanted to try like a tier down. I talked about this on today's video, so maybe I'll send you this link as a reference because there's so many names I would tier down to from Zay. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the video today, definitely go give it a watch. It'll be beneficial for a Zay Flowers owner. But here's all the names that I would tier down to that we talked about in today's video. All right, so you can take a screenshot of this on your phone if you like. But any one of these players, I would tear down from Zay Flowers to. You're seeing Flock Fantasy consensus rankings here, not mine. But names like Worthy, Smith, Moore, Olave, Addison, Ayuk, Waddle, Jameson, DK. If you can tear down to any of these guys and do a pick swap where you get, let's say, like an early second, you send a third, you know, those type of deals I'm 100% open to, because I don't really think Zay Flowers should be valued much higher than those names anyway. So I'll just say, like, tier down options from video. Those are all options for your team as well. But I personally think the Najee Harris deal made the most sense. The McLaurin to
That's
Rice,
probably the best one.
the Najee McLaurin with 201 Olave. Those are like my 3 favorites. I also always am going to advocate for a Bucky Irving deal. But I think that's kind of your main moves right now, man. You've done a good job giving a little bit more of a glimmer of a hope to this team than you originally had in January. But I want to obviously offer the floor, and the floor is open for you to ask us any questions, Jay Fins.
Yeah, man. And as you're asking, gonna ask a question. Sorry, if you're gonna ask a question, sorry, I just got a text message. If you're going to ask a question, I'll be waiting. But as always, please. Sorry, I'm just so distracted. I got so distracted. Please, you'll be getting your playbook within the Flock Fantasy message system within 72 hours, customized with everything that we drew up here today. Of course, you already got yours. The other one, but the new updated one should be within your message box. But appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, absolutely. TD is next, and then we have Bori. So we've got 2 more coming up, which is great. And I left that on the screen too long. But Jay Finn says, it sounds like the 101 guy in this league is thinking of drafting Tech, so things will go crazier from there. I just don't believe that anyone's going to do that when the NFL draft actually finishes. These people who are saying that, you hear it every once in a while. I just don't believe it. If both of these guys go top 10, I just don't think anyone's going to have the stones to do that. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But I'd be shocked if that actually happens. But I am going to hit next here. We'll go to the next review. But Jay Fins, we're obviously here and waiting to see if you have any final questions as well. Make sure you want to feel really good. We want to make sure that you feel really good about the review. But of course, we can always go back to it as TD is up here next.
TD, how you doing, man? One of the only people that came to the meetup. Well, obviously we had Steve and a bunch of other people as well, but so cool to meet you over there, and thank you so much for the support. And we'll have a look at your team here.
Long time supporter. We got another OG here, a Patreon OG.
Okay, so this is actually one of our leagues.
Is it?
Yes, this is. I'm pretty sure the Alpha League.
Who's that number 2 right there? Who's wide receivers
3?
Worldwide?
Who's number 3?
Who is this?
We'll
guy
have
right
a look
here?
at your team. 2 quarterback, 12 teams start 10, of course.
Is this,
a lot
is
of
this
our
your
leagues
reigning
middle
champion?
ground.
Anybody let me know?
I don't think anyone is gonna let you know.
No?
I'll be
Okay.
completely honest with you.
I mean, I'm asking the questions. Does anybody know if the reigning champion is potentially on the live stream right now? It's me, people.
I do not know that.
Your reigning champion is
know.
right here. He's been here the whole time. What's up, baby? Trying to go back to back with the squad. So I'm going to give you terrible advice, TD Vulture. I'm going to give you terrible advice. No, I'm kidding. You currently rank 9th, by the way. This league is a start 10 super flex. So this is another middle ground. A lot of our leagues are start 10. Some are start 9. They're afraid to go to the start 10, but most of our leagues are start 10. And why don't you go ahead and take us away here? He says, as you know, the trades are tough. It's a tough league.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson, Sam Howell. Not the strongest quarterback room, unfortunately. Taking Anthony Richardson a couple years ago was a tough one. That's okay. We all learned. Breece Hall, Jalen Wright, Blake Corum, the list goes on. Not the strongest running back room. At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 5 wide receivers: Malik Neighbors, Brandon Ayuk, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens, Keon Coleman, and the list goes on with Kyle Pitts, another tough pick there. But what is good about this is that you have the 102, the 110, the 202, and you still have your 26th first round pick.
Yeah. Well, I need a running back. I don't know what we're going to do here. I want you to lead the way with this one. What would you do if this was your team? To start 10.
I mean,
right now he's starting. I mean, we don't really know who he's starting, really. He might have to go Cam Ward with a team like this.
Well, that's the hard part, right? Like, who are you taking at the 102? Obviously, you go best player available. Let's just say you don't go Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And you go Omarion Hampton at the 102. You got Breece Hall, Omarion. But you still have holes on your roster still.
Pickens really hurt you when DK came over. Keon didn't break out.
Yeah, but he has the 110. Maybe
Kyle
that's
Pitts.
Amika.
I mean, TD's been in a tough spot here, man. Kyle Pitts did not work out. Keon hasn't panned out yet. He was injured, though. Jalen Wright, Blake Corum, Anthony Richardson. He has the all... guys who didn't do what a lot of people thought they could do type of team.
It was all about the upside. Yeah, it was the upside here, and the upside is not there, unfortunately. Look, my perspective with this team, I would say, because in reality, in my eyes, you only have one person that is untouchable. I would personally just break this down. I would go full rebuild.
Full rebuild, you think?
But you don't have much to... You can play the in and out role if you really wanted to.
Well, if he drafts Hampton, there's a scenario here where he drafts Hampton if Loveland or Warren falls to the 110, because this is a non-tight end premium. He could have a starting lineup of like Geno, A-Rich, Breece, Hampton, Neighbors, Ayuk, Warren, Worthy, Pickens, Coleman, but you got to rely on a lot of guys, and that's assuming that all the players in your with your picks hit, which we know doesn't always happen. I don't know if it's so much a full rebuild. I do think it's a punt.
Okay.
I don't know how much I would say full rebuild versus a punt, but this team would definitely be in a good position if they kind of acquired some draft capital over the next couple of years. I think they could definitely use that. TD, what does your 27 picks look like? I can see this on my end here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. That's literally what I did. I'm about to go pull up your team.
Got all of his 27 picks, but nothing additional. What's up, Dominic? You can get your team reviewed like this by becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. With the promo code LAND, you would get a voucher. It's the pinned comment. I will also put it in the chat for you, but flockfantasy.com/land. You can become an annual Mother Flocker member. You'll get a voucher, and then you can go through the Flock store, which you will see up the top right here on the Flock store. There's a button that says personal advice. You'll see team review here, and you can go through that. Choose Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. Just make sure you get the live tier if you want it done live versus the offline tier. But yeah, TD has all of his picks in 2027, and feel free to DM me if you have any questions about that, Dominic. But he has all of his picks in 2027. I think I am a candidate to buy Breece Hall if we want to go this way of a punt rebuild.
I really want Malik Neighbors off. Yeah, I'll tell you.
I don't think you should sell Malik Neighbors, but it depends on what you would send him. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of Breece Hall with Justin Fields. I have kind of reassessed him a little bit. It's tough because Ryan has a ton of running backs in this league, and me and him just can't get to a deal together. Well, you're saying full rebuild. I'm saying 1 year punt. I think either way, he probably should look towards the future a little bit with a team like this. I mean, no disrespect, but like my team with Jefferson, Lamb, Jason, Ladd, AJ Brown is going to be a tough beat with Jackson there. But Aki, you have a decent team, but your wide receiver room is really shot. But outside of that, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
John's got a pretty good team here with Chase, Kenneth Walker, Hubbard, the Josh Allen. Yeah, so I think you could compete. I think you might have a tough time in the playoffs if you made the playoffs.
That's why I think rebuild is ideal. I'm just trying to think of what I can do here. What if I give you
Bori, that's fine, man. That's fine. We can do your review tomorrow night, my friend Bori. That's fine.
108.
Tomorrow's stream is going to be dedicated to playbooks and reviews, by the way. So if you guys want to get your reviews in, it's a good time because we've got a bunch of open spots which will fill up.
You like JJ McCarthy, TD? Starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. You like him?
I don't mind TD going that way. And I think both myself and Badaki are going to have interest in you getting a fair deal no matter who you trade with.
Ideally, I don't want to trade JJ McCarthy, to be completely honest with you.
But I do think that you're either in a punt or a full rebuild. I don't really think the issue is
next year's
your team currently constructed. If you remove the draft picks, you're starting Geno, Anthony Richardson, Breece Hall, Jalen Wright, Neighbors, Ayuk, Pitts, and now you still need to start 3 more names, which would be Worthy, Pickens, Coleman. We have no idea if we can rely on Pickens or Coleman. And then you can add Hampton into there, and whenever you get the 110, but you have no starting tight end right now. We don't know if you have a starting quarterback too. We think A-Rich will win the job. Geno Smith, we have no idea how long he is going to be able to start and be a starter in the NFL. So there's a lot has to go right for you to compete.
All right, well, let's go through some.
And he says, I want to see this year's draft before I trade. But let's go through some admin real quick. The only untouchable on this team is Malik Neighbors, and I would probably say your future first-round picks. I don't think you should be trading those. I think you need the flexibility to keep them, as much as I'd love to take some off of you. As far as holds, I think names like Worthy is a very strong hold on this team. At this point, Kyle Pitts, you might as well hold him. You can't really sell him for anything worthwhile, right? I think names like Blake Corum, Jalen Wright make a lot of sense to hold. Keon Coleman, you got a lot of names that are worth holding on this team. As far as drops, it hurt me to do it, TD, but you can drop Burks whenever you like. Burton, Tucker, Chandler, DeMarcado, you could drop more running backs, but you don't need to necessarily. Dotson, I don't think would make most people's rosters at this point. Palmer, even Pierce, but you don't have to drop those guys. That's just in order of names I'd probably drop. In our league, AJ Barner's available. I might go make a bid for him. I'm not going to lie to you. So we'll see who outbids each other or if you even think he's worth rostering.
You don't want AJ Barner, brother.
Actually, I just don't know who I can't drop anyone to pick him up. Anyway.
Nah, you don't want him.
Okay.
Overall team grade here, I would just say maybe a
C+.
I would say maybe like C+, C flat.
C flat maybe.
Yeah, let's go C flat here. Draft capital, I think is pretty decent. I'm just gonna put it at like a B plus. You still have your first and 26.
Yeah, B plus.
You have 2 first round picks. 2 first round picks this year, which is not bad. Okay.
Yeah, anything else admin wise?
No, that's it.
You're either a punt or a rebuild. It depends on what. And by the way, you don't even have to take our advice here, TD, because ultimately, obviously, like it's up to you what you decide to do.
I guess the question is, TD, ultimately, what do you want to do, right? Like, do you feel like you can compete, or do you feel like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for full rebuild? Because whichever way you want us to grade this, we can, right? We can stir you in either direction, which is helpful.
Yeah. What's up, Mason? Into building. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, close to 19K. Very excited. Appreciate you
at the
Mason
top.
for being here. See you in Austin, actually.
See you in Austin. Good old Austin, Texas.
I want the Gatsby Mansion. I want the Gatsby Mansion for next year. No,
I think we should do it now. I say we switch it up. Change expectations. It's not about speaking into existence. Am I
right? We got to book flights first before we talk Gatsby.
All right. So he says punt. He wants the punt.
He wants the
punt.
Right. Let's have a look at the chalkboard. All right, a team like this. I mean, look, it depends on how. Like, it genuinely depends on how the NFL draft goes. But you could go like a Ward, Hampton, McMillan. I think those are all legitimate options here at the 102 for you. I doubt right now with the way things are trending that Burden's going to be a legitimate option. So I'd say we could probably narrow it down to those three, but things could change. But one of those is probably going to be your best option there. At the 110, you'll still have a great opportunity to add a quality player. Maybe a Caleb Johnson falls. Maybe a Shedeur Sanders falls. If you wanted to go, let's say, Hampton or McMillan first, and you think Sanders might fall in our league, you could add Igbuka. He'd be a great flex for you. Golden, Warren, those type of names. At the 202, you're going to be in this spot where maybe some of these names might kind of fall from the first round. We see that all the time, but Travis Hunter as well, Matthew Golden, one of these running backs could make sense. From there on out, though, it's way too early to really give you good advice on like the late second and those type of picks. It's just too far out. Mason said, I reached out to the Gatsby Mansion owner to purchase, not rent. Oh my gosh. Give it to the winner of the league. Could you imagine?
I'll live there.
Yeah, I'll make the move. Yeah, if I win it, I'll make the move.
Yeah, why not?
By the way, Sauce, I see your question. We're just going to do TD's review first, if that's okay, and then we'll get to you right after that, if that's okay, Sauce. But we'll make sure your question is a priority after this review. But yeah, I mean, there's like a possibility that this team could go like a Hampton, then a Sanders. If Sanders goes round one, and then you could try and come back and get like a Travis Hunter or something. That's not a bad outcome for this team. And again, assuming Travis Hunter plays receiver and Sanders, is a decent starter and Hampton's the day one guy, you could technically be a sleeper team in this league. But a lot has to go right. I mean, I think this team is eligible for a trade down. I think you're eligible for a tier down from the 102. Not that you need to, but we can definitely explore that as an option. And then you go from like the 103 to the 107 range, depending on how much you can get back. TD says it's nice to have needs at every position. Yeah, that is helpful in this scenario. But yeah, like, let's say everybody goes in an ideal spot and people are struggling about where they should draft Cam Ward and you think he's a good fit for your team. Like, if you can trade back a couple spots and someone's obsessed with Hampton or McMillan or Burden or whatever the case may be, and you can gain future value, I think that's an ideal scenario for you. I also think you can look at trading Breece Hall. I might be a good fit for you. I wouldn't suggest trading Malik Neighbors, but like a Geno Smith, we can look at. A-Rich, I think you might as well hold at this point. Pickens, of course, we would be open to selling, but I think I know our league well enough to say Pickens is not going to go for a first. And neither would Keon in our league. Everyone knows that we don't like Keon. So we have to keep that in mind. And it might be tougher to do some of these deals because, again, everyone watches all of our content. Let's start with the tier down, shall we? Let's look at the 103 through the 107 and kind of see what they can offer us.
Yeah, let's start at the top here. Dutchie has the 106. And he doesn't even have running backs, Dutchie.
Yeah, Dutchie's in a full rebuild.
Yeah.
Dutchie, I don't think is going to be interested. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be interested in a tear down. He's just really acquiring all assets right now. The 104 is John. So John has the 104. Yeah, this is interesting. Because the 102, it could gain value. It could become a tier of its own if Hampton goes in the first round. But there's also a scenario where obviously that doesn't happen. So it's hard to say exactly what the power of the 102 is. The funny thing is this will be the first league that we do our live rookie drafts on. And
it's normally it's normally like a feel out process for the other 14 drafts we have to do.
Yeah.
Which is always rough because those value changes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you can get a future first, I think you could probably even send your 102 and your 202 to do the 104 in a future first. But I struggle to see anyone giving you like Metcalf Smith to do the 20 to the 102. The 101, you would have had a lot more power. Obviously, you can't go back and change anything about that, but that's a potential option. The guy who has the 105 and the 107, you could potentially try and grab both of those in the draft if they wanted to tier up. That's SD perk. Yep. Like if he falls in love with, I could see a scenario where SD falls in love with like Amarian Hampton at the 102, and he wants to view him as like his number one with Chase Brown. He still has a 109 in that scenario. I'd totally be willing to do that. In fact, I could even give him like the 212, but obviously in an ideal scenario, you trying to max as much value as you can out of that pick. You try and milk that cow for all she's worth. Let's see. The 103. The 103 and the 112 is a no-brainer. The 103 and Ricky Pearsall could make sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think everything leading up is going to work into your favor.
Yeah.
Because you have the 102, especially if Amarion goes. I think what you really want to happen, TD, is that Amarion goes in the first.
Oh, yeah.
Because then people are going to want that pick, especially if they're competing, and they're going to try and pay whatever they need to get that. Especially sometimes in our league, they play hard and you'll get the trade window. Yeah. So you just got to be vigilant in the comments, or not the comments, in the messages during that time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, look, I am personally willing to acquire Breece Hall, and we can find out if there's like a fair deal out there for both of us. Quarterbacks do you have? No, you don't have anyone I really want. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use any of Jefferson, Lamb, JSN, McConkey, Brown, but I think Olave is a piece I could use. Olave in a first seems pretty steep to me. I might not be the right person because I'm not all aboard buying Breece Hall this offseason. I do have my own concerns. But I'm not opposed to a structure like that where I give my first in Olave. I would need something back. I don't know.
What is that? What do you need back?
I don't really know. Like maybe Geno in the 212. Is that crazy?
I don't want to say
that doesn't seem crazy to me. I don't know. What do you think? Like that seems pretty fair.
Well,
he has no use for Geno. You can't get an early second for Geno. I guess the way I view Olave is I don't think him and Breece Hall are all that far off. Like they're certainly not a first round pick off in value in my opinion. But I obviously understand preferring Breece, like no doubt about it. He says he needs Geno. Yeah. What could we do to get there then?
Maybe we'll make it a three-way trade. I have JJ. I also have James Cook. I'm willing to go. Saquon. I don't know how that works. We should do the
Yeah,
first 3-week trade
you're like
ever in
maybe
history.
maybe we should make it more complicated than it is already. Come up with an idea. Come up with an idea. I'm not opposed to it. What would you? He says Dotson. I would probably drop Dotson off my roster. When we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think I would roster Dotson over any of the wide receivers I have. If that's where you sit, we're probably not going to meet in the middle there with a deal like that then. And that's okay. I can find a different owner for you. And we can try and work something out.
Who else needs quarterback? Gino, no.
I mean,
it was pretty fairly even down the board.
I could add Tony Pollard to this deal. And again, I'm just trying to get as creative as possible. You don't want to move Gino. I can add Tony Pollard if you give me that 202 instead of the 212. Work off
this line.
Okay, we can work this offline. That's an idea. Again, the other idea was, and Pollard and Stevenson are interchangeable, by the way. And the chat can call me out if they think this isn't fair. Y'all can call me out. Like I definitely get like it, you probably want to keep that 202. The 212 is just not enough. Like there's not enough there for me.
We did the 212 in the 302.
Yeah.
I just think that's my only qualm with this trade. Like, I once again, I don't want to be like the guy that ruins your trade. So like, I don't really want to speak on it. I'm just saying, what about the 212 and the 302?
The 302 is just such a dart throw. So is the 212. That's a problem. They're both just complete dart throws. But I don't really like Pickens. I don't like Keon. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess that's like my lowest accept I might do, but I'm not sure I could get there. Okay, let's go on to another team then. I might not be the right one. If any of those deals sound appealing to you, you can let me know. And we can try and work something offline like you mentioned. Who else would be a good fit here for Breece Hall? So, Dutchy is just not competing. I don't think he's gonna want to buy Breece Hall. I could be wrong. You can explore that with him. Steele and Williams. I think we also have another rebuild here. Yep. Mother May I? That's SD Perk, right?
Yes. Yes, it is SD Perk.
I think he could be interested. He might. I don't know if he's gonna give you like the 105, but he might do like the 107, like Jaden Reed or something. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can get the 105, I think that gives you a space where you might be able to get a running back equivalent to Breece, and then
yeah, I agree.
They're just a little bit younger. I mean, you can tell me if you think you can add on like the 210 to that. You'll know your conversations with him a little bit better. I don't think that Sean is going to be able to offer you anything you want. John is a 104. If you can get the 104, no brainer, right? I mean, same thing with the 105 like we talked about. Because our league watches all of our content, I don't know if they're going to value Breece Hall as high as you want them to. But all it takes is one person, right? A lot of these teams can't really offer you what you want. Is there another team that you would see that makes sense?
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, we can move on.
Think of my team. Trying to think of my team. All I have is the 108, so I can't really offer you more than that. 108, 208 for Breece. I mean, that's probably the best I can do. I don't have any wide receivers to offer you.
Yeah.
Outside of Puka.
And 108 might be underselling. I don't know. So might not work for you guys. And then you don't really need running back. You desperately need wide receiver. Might not work. I don't know. Geno Smith. Who's an ideal Geno Smith guy? I'm going to go 28. That's funny. So, yeah, this could work. This could work here. That 207, I mean, I don't know how you value Geno Smith, but I don't think you're going to get much more than the 207 for him. But you also said that you need Geno Smith. If you're wanting to punt TD, I do think it's in your best interest to sell him at some point. Doesn't have to be now. But if you think you can nab like the 207 and Etienne or something, you know, that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, Etienne kind of becomes like a what if for you. You know, Billy could be interested, but I don't think he can offer you anything that you'd be interested in. Unless he has like a 2027 second. Yeah, a lot of these guys can't really offer you like young pieces or draft capital.
Oh, we have a lot of guys that went full in as well, so they don't have a lot of their capital.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
You could try it. Would you do a straight swap for Justin Fields?
Yeah.
With a team like this, I would. You got nothing to lose, really.
Who has Justin?
TD, this is a tough question, man, because, you know, running back is probably the position you should care about least in a rebuild. But when you have a class like this, that the strength of the class is the running back position, what you might end up having to do is draft these running backs and then sell them for multiple firsts in the future, wide receiver in a first. You know, you can manipulate your roster after that. But if the strength of the class, and you need to make sure you're going best player available with these picks with your team. So if that happens to be running back, that might be where you need to go. But yeah, I'd say running back is probably the last thing you need to prioritize. I'd always say quarterback in a super flex would be number one, but this isn't really a class that we want to build around. So you're just in a very peculiar situation, I'd say. George Pickens, I'd say if you can get any first in any year, you do it. I don't think that's going to happen in our league. I would also be completely comfortable with like that early second round range, like the 201 to the 203 as well. TD says, so if I can get a quarterback for my 102, do it. I'm not opposed to that. If that's where you want to build, I've actually talked about that specific scenario in a lot of our content this year. But if you're able to send the 102 for a Drake May, a Nix, a Caleb, that all makes a ton of sense, you know? Any of those names, May, Nix, Caleb. You could also go like the Penix JJ route, but you would need more in return. You can't send the 102 for JJ. You need to get a plus on top of it. And the same it goes for Michael Penix. So those are options. So Badaki's right. McCarthy could make sense, and I'll let you kind of take the way here. But I think you need a plus on top of that for sure. You know.
Yeah. No. It was just a joke. I don't have any plus to give you. Depending on who you like, best I can do is. Yeah, that's probably the best I can do actually. In reality, and like I keep saying, I know I keep joking about JJ. I want to keep JJ because he's really my QB too. And I have Sam Darnold, and I don't believe in the long-term success there. So
what did you offer him?
No, I was saying I was just saying it was a joke. As in,
oh, okay.
Like I want to keep JJ because I don't believe in Sam Darnold's long-term.
Well, Sam's not
long-term success. I have Sam Darnold and JJ.
Oh, you're
McCarthy.
saying right because of okay.
Because if I trade away,
so you're
JJ,
not going to do a McCarthy deal.
No.
The Penix owner. Who had Penix in this league? That was Dutchy. Yeah, you're going to have a tough time getting him off Dutchy, who's in a full rebuild. It'd have to be like Penix in the 111 or something. He might be willing to do that.
Yeah, and then he gets running back. He will get the 101 and the 102.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could even try and sneak in the 201. He has so many picks. I think that might help you. But if I'm Dutchy and I have this team, I'm like, perfect. I don't love any of the quarterbacks in this class. I'm going to build around every other position that I need. You know, that would be my mindset. So it depends on if he's vibing that. But I think that's kind of the route we would take, TD. I want to give you the open floor here to ask us any questions. And feel free to ask us anything that you want. I want to make sure you feel good about this, and you know that you're valued, and that we appreciate you big time.
Yeah, thank you so much, man, for the support. Hopefully we get to see you again in Austin. No pressure, but as always, everyone gets your spiel. You should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system. And you also know how to get in contact with us if you have any questions, whether in our league chat or Discord, whatever the case may be, if you don't receive that within that time. But it will be customized with everything that we have drew up here for you today. And don't be scared to send any trades.
Yeah. And you can even send this review to our league if you want. And that might get a way for you to start. Like someone might want to beat me with the offers I gave for Breece Hall, so that could work in your favor too. Obviously, the opposite is true. Maybe no one's interested in Geno Smith or any of these guys that you're trying to sell, or Pickens or anything. So you got to determine what you want to do there. But yeah, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you big time. He says 356 nonstop round trip to Austin. I love it.
That's awesome.
And I will be there.
Hopefully we get to know the location sooner rather than later. I think
we're gonna try.
I don't know when we'll have the meeting, but we'll try and book that location ASAP. So that's awesome, man.
Now, Boris, we will do tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will be completely dedicated towards these team reviews. So if you guys are out there, it's a fantastic time to get your team review in, to get your playbook done. We have like 3 or 4 spots open on tomorrow's stream. So if you submit a team review today, then you're pretty much guaranteed to be on tomorrow's stream. But that is it for today. Wanted to answer the super chat. I first wanted to answer Michael's question. I don't think this would change anything, Michael. What you could do is you could send us your playbook via email, fantasylandfootball@gmail.com. Badaki will have a quick look at it. If it changed anything, he'll let you know. But the most likely scenario is it probably wouldn't change too much. Those picks, the 103 and the 104, pretty much have the same value right now. They're in the same tier for most creators.
It's just off by one. Yeah, I think the only thing. Well, I was going to say that probably the only thing that would change would be the players that we suggested, but I'm pretty sure we gave you a bunch, just like we do everyone, a bunch of names. So, for example, Marion Tet, Emeka, Judkins is all going to be there. So even if those guys don't really align with the 103, they should align with the 104 regardless. So you're totally fine. But yeah, send an email if you want us to have another look.
Okay, last question here from Sauce. He says, killing it as always, gents. Question for you. Who do you guys think will be the biggest riser from now to the end of next season? That's a good question.
As a whole?
I think JJ McCarthy comes to mind. If he does, 60, or if he does like 70 to 90% of what Sam Darnold gave them last year, I think people are going to end up being obsessed with him. So he definitely comes to mind. Bo Nix comes to mind if he comes out and has another really good year. Tyrone, if they don't draft someone. Rasheed Rice, if he's healthy and dominates.
I feel like his value is already high, but like Marvin, I think.
Marv, if he recovers, he could definitely be one. Like if he has like a top 12 season, he could shoot up into the top 5. Yeah. Josh Downs, if he gets competent quarterback play.
Same thing with like Rome Odunze, I can think of.
Rome, yeah.
He can go really crazy
Britton
next year.
Strange. Yeah, those are some names I'd say.
Yeah, man. Great question.
Yeah. I love it. Love it, Sauce. I agree, Travis Hunter. A lot of these guys in the 25 class could fit that bill as well. But all right, guys, I think that's it for today. We appreciate you big time. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And yeah, go check out the video I released today. Yeah, nothing but love. We'll see y'all then.
Love.